Hey, Rob Pincus here with another National Shooting Sports Month video, and this time we're looking at probably the rarest gun in my collection. Certainly rarest production gun, not counting prototypes. An Alchemy Arms SPECTRE. Now this gun, I understand that there were less than 200 of them ever shipped. This gun is 45 ACP, and it was intended to bring together sort of the best of both worlds. If you are a Glock fan and a 1911 fan, this was supposed to be the holy grail. And in 45 ACP, it was 10+1. There was an anticipation to potentially bring it to market with a 9mm version, a 40 caliber version, maybe even a 10mm version. There are a couple of different color schemes out there, but as far as I know, the only version that actually shipped was the 45 ACP Alchemy Arms SPECTRE. Now, you're going to look at it and you're going to say, well, yeah, from here, Rob, it looks pretty Glockish, except for that trigger and maybe the beaver tail and maybe the grip safety. When you get to this side, yeah, boy, it starts looking like a real 1911 right there with a frame mounted safety. Now this gun is an angle that, especially if you use the straight mainspring housing, was supposed to be the grip angle replicating a 1911. Give you the manual safety lever of the 1911, give you the beaver tail, but again, be striker fired. Now, while it's striker fired, it still has a 1911 style trigger, but it doesn't break like a single action because it's not a single action gun. So what it ends up doing is having a really horrible 1911 style trigger, kind of a mushy safety. And again, this was very early. You can see this is gun 1001, which is kind of cool. It shows up as 001001 on the serial number with 6 digits there, pretty cool. And I understand that there's a lot of other serial numbers out there that are much lower, so I'm not really sure where this one fits in the regime, again, knowing that there were only 200 of them shipped. This particular set has, I'll lock it open here, has the Ashley Express big dot sights on it. And Ashley Emerson was actually involved, who was the developer of the Ashley Express sights, was actually involved as a consultant with the design and release of this gun. Now, this gun takes apart, strips down, just like a Glock would. You pull down on those levers, pop the top off. You cannot put this slide on a Glock, but the internals of this gun are very Glock-like. So again, that results in this kind of squishy trigger, let's say, for what you would expect with a 1911 style trigger. Another thing about this, with the safety on, the slide is not impinged. Although your movement of the slide is impinged a little bit by the position of where that safety lever is, you could still move the slide, chambering or unchambering around, which is a little different from the 1911 style. Now, this does have a lot of safety built in. They really touted the safety aspect of this. So you got the grip safety, you got the manual safety. Of course, there's a striker block safety in there as well. There's also a lockout, a keyed lockout, as don't know where that key is, but it doesn't have a magazine disconnect, interestingly. And this came out, was really designed, developed the ideas of it in the 90s. It came out during the assault weapons ban. That was one of the reasons why they, I believe, launched the 45 caliber first, because it didn't benefit from a high capacity magazine in this configuration. It was only going to get 10+1 anyway. And I think it's an interesting piece of history. It's an interesting thing where they said, okay, we still have a lot of people who swear by the 1911 ergonomics and manual of arms, but we respect that striker fired is sort of the wave of the future and where things at that point in the early 2000s had moved. I think this company went out of business around 2006. So over 20 years I've had this gun, haven't shot it very much at all. And one of the downsides, one of the dangers, the risks of having multiple residences is that sometimes the guns end up in a place where the magazines aren't. I have tried to find a magazine for this gun all over the place in various locations here in Western North Carolina. Have not found one yet. This one, the magazine is actually an EAA Witness 45 magazine, slightly modified. The top of the magazine has a little groove cut out for where the slide strips the round and feeds it. It's got a different feed angle than a standard 1911 is one of the differences inside of there. The barrels, incidentally, are interchangeable. So while I said most of the parts are not interchangeable, you can't swap slides and frames with a Glock, this is the configuration of a standard Glock barrel. And my understanding is you can switch this right into a Glock, and you can take Glock barrel, 45 caliber Glock barrel, and stick it right in there. I guess you could put in other caliber barrels, but if you don't have a magazine to go with it, it's not really going to matter. I've got one round right here. I thought, well, let me go ahead and shoot it while I've got everything on video. One of the idiosyncrasies, actually, before I load it, still unloaded, show you guys something. One of the idiosyncrasies here is because of the ergonomics, because of the way this gun is much thicker than a standard 1911, the way that the whole thing comes together, for me anyway, if I were to ride the safety, as I would like to do with a frame-mounted safety while I'm shooting, get my hands up high on the gun, keep that thumb up there on top of the safety while I'm shooting, and then be able to put the safety back on, obviously stand by in the ready position with that gap, drive out, finish that safety going off or push that safety off and be in that position. I cannot disengage the grip safety. I don't know if you can see it from this angle. I cannot disengage the grip safety down here when my thumb is up there. I have to bring my thumb off to get that final compression on the grip safety itself, which is a little bit of a bummer for ergonomics as far as the way the gun shoots. And again, excited about the idea of this gun, the idea of innovation, and we don't see enough of that, I think, from American gun companies, American startups. I've talked a lot about it with Avidity Arms. It would have been great to see this take off. It didn't for any variety of reasons, but let's go ahead and I'll fire a shot into our steel target over there. Again, kind of changing the way I would like my thumbs as I would normally have them. And there we go. Not the most pleasant shooting experience. Did hit the steel target. I don't know what I am, 12 yards. It's not a big feat. The guns work, right? I'm not a huge fan of the Ashley sights, although I am friends with Ashley. It's possibly friends with somebody and not think that those sights are the best. Love the ideas that went into this gun. I love the idea behind the Ashley Express sight. But the execution and the applicability of this design obviously never really took off. But I am proud to have it in my collection. It's cool. Have you ever heard of the Alchemy Arms SPECTRE? Ever seen one? Maybe somebody else out there is an owner or has shot one. You got some interesting facts, please share them in the comments. We're getting ready to close out. We're in the last week of National Shooting Sports Month. Check out the other videos I've done, some other unique guns. I've actually got one prototype gun coming up soon in the series you're going to get to see. And I hope you've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed doing it. A few more videos left. National Shooting Sports Month. Go shoot.